Hey guys, Varuna here. I'm interviewing players competing in the Horus Heresy Legion's World Cup. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what region you represent?
Hello, my name is Juan. In-game name is NumberJuanJP101. I play and represent for Team USA.
How did you get into the game and how long have you been playing for?
Originally, what got me into the game was I was at an auction and I found a box of 40K models. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to look this up. And I saw the whole community that was behind it. And so I got it from the auction and I took it home. Never did much with it, just stored it under my bed. Until one day, about 3 years ago, I found it again after cleaning my room. And I said, I wonder if there's any Google Play games for this because models are way too expensive for me. And so I go on to the Google Play Store and I type in Warhammer 40,000. Horus Heresy Legions was the third game on the row, and that's how I started playing.
Tell us about your teammates and how long have you known them for?
My teammates are Diamond, or Draconic Slayer, and GMAT. GMAT joined the Masterclass community. In fact, he started playing the game just a couple months ago. And he's been fairly talkative. He joins VC chat whenever I'm in there, and we always talk and just play practice matches. Diamond, he's just a bit of a cocky, arrogant type person, but he can back it up to an extent. I haven't known him for as long, though.
Also about your competitive history, what tournaments have you won?
In terms of competitive history, I've only played this game mostly just to reach the MC minimums, but as of late, I've been playing top 50 and top 10s. Tournaments I've participated in or won in, I usually can't participate in the tournaments because Saturday just isn't a good day for me to play.
For the World Cup, how is your current round going for you?
This round I was fighting I Am Dear and I beat him 2-1.
How do you feel your team is doing overall?
I feel my team is doing incredibly well. I think we've only lost maybe one round this entire cup, so we've been doing quite well.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned competing so far?
Don't tilt. If you allow yourself to tilt, you're going to play worse, and that's just not overall healthy for you, because then that leads to more tilting and not a good, healthy environment for you at all.
What was the reasoning behind the 3 warlords you chose for the World Cup?
My 3 warlords are Horus, Ahriman, and Exodus. Originally, when DD, before the nerf, we discussed in Team USA that everyone should have a warlord that can counter DD, which for me was Exodus and Ahriman. So I chose those 2. GMAT chose Raum, and Diamond chose Mortarion. And those warlords all counter DD because Raum with Unstoppable, Exodus with Instrument, or Ahriman with Urtzi and Ashen Blow, and Mortarion because he can just poison out the units and play the long game. So the reason we chose those warlords was we wanted a fast option, which for me was Horus, a late game option, which is Exodus for me, and a about mid-range, which would have been Ahriman. So that way we can adapt to anything our opponents have.
Who is the most difficult opponent you've faced so far?
In terms of difficulty, that's hard to say. I say none of my opponents have been bad so far, though I've only lost once, but I blame that to RNG.
Okay. And who do you think is going to be the most difficult opponent going forward?
If I had to name one, I'd have to say maybe LCFR. I've already beat him once, but his teammate Pirate was telling me that it was just because he didn't practice against my decks. And I'd hate to see what he looks like when he does practice.
What do you think of the Crucial Choice and Khorne's Favor ban? Did you agree or disagree with them, and why?
I agree with banning both of those cards, as I feel Crucial Choice, it makes all decks 29 cards and Crucial Choice. And I feel Crucial Choice is too RNG reliant. Either you get the Vengeful Spirit, the Conchador, and the Pride of the Emperor, or you get Lorgar, Mantle of Ultramar, and Edicts or something not useful. And I felt that the way it swings the game, it's just not a fair card to fight against. And I feel its buff was severely unnecessary. Khorne's Favor, I can understand because I feel like new cards being added to the format is not something that you planned against when you were choosing your warlords. So I feel like me not having to take it into consideration and being forced to take into consideration afterward, after I've chosen my warlords, would just be unfair.
What are some improvements you'd like to see to the game?
I feel the game is fairly balanced, at least right now. The meta is varied. and that's really healthy for the game. One nerf I would like to see is maybe the sisters. I don't know exactly how they would do it, but they need some tweaking. Right now, I feel they're still overly powerful.
Do you have any advice for ranked players who might be looking to compete in tournaments?
Join the main cord and look through weekly tournaments. They host tournaments every Saturday, and if you want to get into this tournament type play, just sit around in there, try some decks out, see what works, because some warlords, like Gager, that you never see on ladder, might actually work in tournament formats.
Who's your favorite warlord to play, and who is your least favorite warlord to play against?
Right now, my favorite warlord to play is definitely Branthan. I like his control style, and I like how I can dominate the board, whereas my opponent can't do anything against it, as toxic as that sounds. And my least favorite warlord to fight against, I have to go to Kroll. There's just far too many of her. If you looked at the last meta report, 15% of all High Terra decks were her, or all High Terra games played. And I just feel she's not fun to fight against. She's overly oppressive. The cull is overly done. It's just they have too many tools in their kit. And the fact that she's 40 health also pushes her over the edge.
Would you like to do a shout out to any players?
Yes, I would like to do 2 shoutouts. Even though LCFR doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, or at least he hasn't uploaded in a long time, I would like to shout him out. Go check out his YouTube channel. They might be several years old, but his decks are very fun, and he's a very entertaining man. I would also like to shout out Leman Russ 80. Even though he hasn't posted a video in about 2 weeks, he makes very entertaining content.
And any social media accounts you'd like to share with the audience today?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you so much for the interview, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament there.
Alrighty, thank you.